Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am again with you after a few days with another topic that is Ohm's law of class. It is for class 12 students. So, what is Ohm's law? After making a large number of experiments, it was Ohm who found a relation between current and potential difference. Does current flow of current depends upon the potential difference? If we increase the potential difference, will it affect the magnitude of the current, or will the magnitude of the current remain same? So this was proved by Ohm in the form of a law that is known as Ohm's law. What he did, he found that the flow of current, the magnitude of the current increases if we increase the potential difference of the cell, or if we the magnitude of current decreases if we decrease the potential difference across the ends of the wire in which the current is flowing. So he found that the current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference applied across its ends, provided there are some conditions. This current will be proportional to the potential difference under certain conditions, and those conditions are that the physical conditions like temperature, pressure, etc. remain same. They do not change. Mathematically, Ohm's law can be expressed as I is proportional to V. That is, the current flowing in the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference that exists between its ends. Or we can also write V proportional to I. And when we remove the proportionality, we insert equality. That is, V is equal to Ri with a constant, where R is constant of proportionality. And this constant of proportionality is known as resistance of the conductor. Now let us define what is resistance. Resistance is defined as the property of a conductor by virtue of which it opposes the flow of electric current through it. When a current flows through a conductor, there is the property of a conductor which opposes its flow. It does not allow the current to flow freely. So that is called the resistance of the conductor. The SI unit of electric resistance is ohm and is denoted by omega. It is denoted by omega, like this. Ohm. Now let us define what is 1 ohm. From Ohm's law, V is equal to Ri. It means R is equal to V upon I. So R will be 1 ohm if V is 1 volt and current is 1 ampere. If we divide 1 by 1, we will get 1. So R will be 1 ohm if potential difference across its ends is 1 volt and the current flowing in the wire is 1 ampere. Thus the resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm if a current of 1 ampere flows through it when the potential difference across its ends is 1 volt. Now what is conductance? Conductance is the opposite word for resistance. The inverse of resistance is called conductance of a conductor and is denoted by G. So G is equal to 1 by R. It means if the resistance of a conductor is smaller, the conductance of the conductor will be larger and vice versa. And if the resistance is greater, then conductance will be smaller. The SI unit of conductance is mho or Simon and is denoted by psi S. Since G is equal to 1 upon R, it means R is equal to, if R is equal to 1 upon 2 ohm, then G is equal to 2 Simon. If the resistance of the conductor is half, then its conductance will be twice, 2 Simon. Now resistivity. Resistivity is also a resistance, but is the resistance of a conductor of length 1 meter. Now let us first see the factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends. The resistance of a conductor is caused by the collisions of free electrons with the ions or atoms of the conductor. When the electrons flow from negative to positive end of the conductor, it collides with the atoms. Collision does not mean it directly strikes, it changes its direction. Its motion is affected, its direction is affected by the ions, so it is a collision. The resistance of a conductor is caused by the collision of the electrons with the ions or atoms of the conductor while drifting towards the positive end, from negative end to positive end of the conductor. Thus, the resistance of the conductor depends upon the following three factors. Number one, it depends upon the material of which the conductor is made. Denser the material, greater the number of collisions and hence greater the resistance. For example, we know that copper is denser than aluminum. So, if a current flows through copper, it it will more number of collisions will take place because it has more number of atoms than the aluminum. So it also depends upon the material of the conductor. When electron flows from one end to other end of the conductor, we see how many collisions take place. If the number of collisions is greater, then the resistance will be greater. So number of collisions will be greater if the number of ions or atoms present in the conductor is greater. So if the medium is denser, then the number of ions or atoms will be greater. So number of collisions will be greater and resistance will be greater. So it depends upon the material of the conductor. Number two, now if we take the two conductors of the same material is same, both are of copper wire, for example, but their lengths are different. So what we expect that the conductor with greater length will have greater number of ions, will have greater number of atoms. So number of collisions will be greater. Hence the resistance will be greater. Similarly, so it means R is proportional to L. Greater the length of the conductor, greater will be the number of atoms or ions, greater will be the number of collisions that will take place, and greater will be the resistance of the conductor. So R is directly proportional to L. Number three, it depends upon the cross-sectional area of the conductor. Greater the cross-sectional area of the conductor, smaller will be the resistance. For example, if we take two pipes, one is of greater cross-sectional area and the other is of smaller cross-sectional area. If a person is asked to pass through the pipes, he will easily pass through the pipe with greater cross-sectional area compared to the pipe with smaller cross-sectional area. So he will not have much resistance while passing through the greater cross-sectional area of the pipe. So greater the cross-sectional area, smaller will be the resistance. So R is inversely proportional to A, that is cross-sectional area. When we compare these two equations, we find that R is proportional to L upon A. When we from equation first and from equation 2, we get R is proportional to L upon A. Now, if we remove the proportionality, we get R is equal to rho L upon A, where rho is the constant of proportionality and this rho is known as resistivity of the conductor, material of the conductor. From equation 3, now let us define if from equation 3, if L is equal to 1 meter, A is equal to 1 m square, then R will be equal to rho. So resistance and resistivity will be same for a conductor of length 1 meter. If the length of the conductor is 1 meter, its cross-sectional area is 1 m square, 1 meter square, then the resistance and the resistivity of the conductor of length 1 meter and cross-sectional area 1 m square will be same. Thus, the resistivity of a conductor is the resistance of a wire of length 1 meter and cross-sectional area 1 m square. Since R is equal to rho L upon A, it means rho is equal to R E upon L. Now the unit of resistance is ohm, unit of area is m square, and unit of length is meter. So when we cancel meter and square of the meter, then we get ohm meter. So the unit of SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Now again, rho is equal to RA upon L. Rho is equal to RA upon L. It will be equal to the resistance. It is minus ML upon E square MA tau into A upon L. That is equal to minus M upon E square and tau. So rho will be equal to minus M upon E square into 1 upon N tau. M is the mass of the electron, E is the charge of the electron. Mass of the electron is constant, charge of the electron is constant. So rho will be equal to constant into 1 upon N tau. That will be means rho is proportional to 1 upon N tau. Where N is number density. Now, as I told you, denser the medium, its density will be greater. Tau is the relaxation time. Tau is the relaxation time. That is the time between two successive collisions. For example, if we take a material of aluminum and copper. In aluminum, you will see the density is less compared to the density of the atoms of the copper. So, uh, relaxation time will be greater in aluminum compared to copper. Thus, the electric resistivity is independent of the length L and cross-sectional area E of the conductor. From this equation, rho is proportional to 1 upon n tau. It only depends upon two factors, that is n, that is number density, and tau, that is relaxation time of the conductor. Now, what is electric conductivity? Again, as conductance is the inverse of resistance, similarly electric conductivity is the inverse of resistivity. The inverse of resistivity of a conductor is called conductivity of the conductor, and it is denoted by sigma. Sigma is equal to 1 upon rho. The SI unit of conductivity is move per meter. Move per meter or Simon per meter. Now current density. The current density at a point in a conductor is defined as the amount of current flowing per unit area of the conductor around that point, provided the area is held in a direction normal to the current. Let I be the current distributed uniformly across a conductor of cross-sectional area A. The magnitude of the current density J for all points on that cross-section is given by J is equal to I upon A. If we define the total current by the area, then we get current density. Current density is a vector quantity whose direction is the direction of the motion of the positive charge. That is the direction of the conventional current. Now we know that I is equal to E A N E V D. That is the relation between drift velocity and current. The relation between current and drift velocity we have obtained it. I is equal to A N E V D. Now J is equal to I upon A. It means J is equal to A N E V D upon A. It means J is equal to N E V D. So J is equal to 1 upon I upon A. The definition of current density is J is equal to total current per unit area. Now the unit of current is ampere and the unit of area is meter square. So the unit of current density is ampere per meter square. That's all for today. Inshallah, I will come with another topic tomorrow.